Good morning. The council will come to order. Madam Clerk, please take a quorum roll call.
Good morning. The roll call is open. Please mark yourself present. Happy birthday.
Birthday today?
It's tomorrow. It's coming up. Okay, I will now call on those who have not yet marked themselves present. Alderman Hopkins, not present in chambers. Alderwoman Dowell. Alderwoman Dowell is present. Alderperson Robinson, not present in chambers. Alderman Hall. Alderman Hall is present. Alderman Beal, not present in chambers. Alderwoman Lee. Alderwoman Lee is present. Alderwoman Ramirez, not present in chambers. Alderwoman Gutierrez, not present in chambers. Alderman Lopez, not present in chambers. Alderwoman Coleman, not present in chambers. Alderman Moore, not present in chambers. Alderman Curtis. Alderman Curtis is present. Alderman O'Shea. Alderman O'Shea is present. Alderman Mosley. Alderman Mosley is not present in chambers. Alderwoman Tabares. Alderwoman Tabares is not present in chambers. Alderwoman Scott. Alderwoman Scott is present. Alderperson Fuentes, not present in chambers. Alderman Burnett. Alderman Burnett is present. Alderwoman Cruz. Alderwoman Cruz is present. Alderman Wagasback. Alderman Wagasback is present. Alderman Casada. Alderman Casada is present. Alderman Villegas, not present in chambers. Alderwoman Mitz, not present in chambers. Alderman Vasquez, it's just in here. Alderman Knudsen, not present in chambers. Alderwoman Clay, not present in chambers. Alderwoman Haddon, not present in chambers. Alderwoman Silverstein. Alderwoman Silverstein is present. Alderman Vasquez. Alderman Vasquez is present. Alderman Hopkins. Alderman Hopkins is present. Has everyone cast their attendance? Just Alderman Hopkins. And voting is now closed.
All right, there are 36 members present, 14 absent. We do have a quorum. There are a number of members who have requested to participate in today's meeting remotely for reasons stated in Rule 59, and those alders are as following. Madam Clerk, can we verify their presence online? Alders Haddon, Coleman, Fuentes, and Ramirez.
Alderwoman Ramirez.
Present.
Alderwoman Ramirez is present. Alderwoman Coleman.
Present.
Alderwoman Coleman is present. Alderperson Fuentes.
Present.
Alderperson Fuentes is present. Alderwoman Haddon. Alderwoman Haddon. Okay.
Very well, with the exception of Alderwoman Haddon, those other members have been verified. Can I get a motion to approve for those members to participate in today's meeting remotely? There's a motion. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes. Madam Clerk, could you please add those members to the quorum roll call? Very well. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for our invocation, which today will be delivered by Father Ryan Brady from the St. Christina Roman Catholic Church.
May we remember this day the gift that God has given us by our life and the gift that he has given us by his love. Let us be comforted by the love God's Sacred Heart longs to share with our hearts and with our homes. We ask you, Lord, to bless, love, and share your wisdom with the members of this historic and august chamber. Bless their constituents too, our brothers and sisters across our fine city. Let us ask for God's blessing and protection on those who are there for us when we need them, those who serve and protect our city streets. We pray for the men and women of the Chicago Police and Fire Departments, all those who selflessly serve us across the city today. Bless their families also, who eagerly await their safe return home. Lord God, we ask you to bless the forgotten, bless the lost, bless the addicted, and bless the persecuted. May they be given the gift of hope, and may they see true compassion in our prayer, in our selflessness, and in our service. We pray also and hold in our hearts that brother and sister of ours who feels as if they have no one to pray for them and no one to love them. May your peace, Lord, reign on our streets, in our homes, and in our hearts this day and all our days. Amen.
Thank you. Amen. You may be seated. All right, this is a portion. Thank you. This chamber will come back to order. This is the portion of the meeting for public comments.
The council will now begin the public comment period, which is limited to a maximum of 30 minutes. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Speakers cannot yield or transfer their time to another speaker. Any written comments that have been submitted will be posted and made available for automatic review. Our first speaker this morning is Dennis White. Our first speaker this morning is Dennis White.
Good morning, citizen, council member, Brandon Johnson. I'm a veteran, I'm a patriot, I'm a black man. I normally salute and respect the flag, but I did not stand up to the Pledge of Allegiance because you are anti-American, Brandon Johnson, because you committed a heinous crime, Ralph. Excuse me, are you paying attention to what I'm saying, sir? Because I'm still talking on my time right now. So here's the thing. When you on my time, the attention go on to the speakers, not to somebody else who you want to talk to, Brandon Johnson. Now, you committed a black-on-black crime. That black-on-black crime is you raising property taxes on the south side and the west side of Chicago right offhand. When you over here allow teen takeover and stuff, you trying to justify you don't want nothing to happen. Now, a 14-year-old boy is over here, their parents is getting ready for another funeral. And your kids are safe with 150 police details. So when you over here talking about we want to put skin in the game to raise corporate taxes and stuff, you want to tax the rich. but you got $5 million in the CTU pension plan. You need to tax yourself on that one right there, but you're not going to do that. And then you got your cronies like Jess Fuentes, Andre Vasquez, Cincho Lopez, all the Hispanic KKKs over here trying to distract us with the anti-ICE protests and stuff. We want these illegal out. That's right. We want them out now. Now, you can boo all you want to, but while you booing me, hey, grown folks are talking, stay in your place. So now, this right here is the Constitution. Some of y'all know it, some of y'all read it, but some of y'all don't respect it. And the first thing it say, we the people. It doesn't say Brandon Johnson. It doesn't say we the politician. It doesn't say nothing. And now you over here got these rent of reverence over here saying spiritual. You over here got these rent of reverence over here saying something spiritual, but there's nothing spiritual in your heart, right offhand. So what you over here doing, you put money in the preacher pockets, taking pictures and stuff. It's like singing with the devil and stuff with a Bible and stuff. So we're gonna get you out that seat, but before we pledgefully vote you out, I'd rather see you in an orange jumpsuit. I'd rather see you locked up because you doing the most heinous crime. And Trump, get DOJ and get this man out of office.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker this morning is David Barboza.
Good morning, Mayor, council members. My name is David Barboza. I'm speaking on behalf of the Southeast Environmental Task Force and as a third-generation resident of the 10th Ward. I grew up on the Southeast side. My parents grew old here. I raised my daughter here, and like many families in our community, I've experienced loss, change, and most importantly, dreamed. I think about the memories of my family made in the neighborhood, cookouts at Cal Park, birthdays catered by Heine's. Of course, there's violence, but we overcame every day. And it breaks my heart to see how many families today are being pushed to the limit, barely getting by, working long hours just to keep the lights on or keep a roof over their heads. The cost of living has skyrocketed, and meanwhile, wages aren't keeping up. My parents are now considering selling our family home, something I've never thought I'd see, not because they want to leave, but because the burden has become too heavy. We're not alone. Our neighbors, our friends, our community members are facing the same pressure. But while families are stretched thin, we see large corporations and industrial facilities in our neighborhoods continue to operate, make profits, and benefit from being in our community without sharing the responsibility of supporting it. We constantly face the burden, not them. We deal with polluted land, polluted air, truck traffic, asthma, cancer clusters, and the health impacts that come from being a dumping ground for our industry. We deal with the rising costs of groceries, utilities, and rent. How do we deal with this? In the 10th Ward, 40% of our community makes less than $40,000 a year. We deal with the impossible choice: leave the community we love or watch it become unlivable. What we are asking of City Council is simple. Recognize our community's reality when making decisions. If companies benefit from being here, they must contribute back. If we want a thriving city, it starts with our neighborhoods, being places where residents are healthy, supported, and able to stay in the homes they grew up in. Investments in clean air, clean land, and environmental health are not just environmental issues. There are economic stability issues, family stability issues, and public health issues. That's why we also need you to support the Hazel M. Johnson ordinance. Our area of one of the highest rates of asthma and cancer. I'm asking you to think about families like mine when you vote. Think about people who built this city generation after generation and ensure they can still remain here. We don't want to leave our home. We want a city that invests in us, not just in corporations, that sees us as their neighbors. We want a city where our children can stay, grow, and thrive. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Dominic Cappins.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dominic Cupias, General Manager of Smoke Station in Logan Square. I'm here to speak against the proposed Quinn hemp ban ordinance. I'll read a statement from my boss, the owner. As of October 2025, our annual sales of hemp, specifically THCA, account for 78% of our business. We were forced to pivot to selling hemp as a result of the pandemic, which took most of our glass business away. If hemp is banned, we will be forced to shut our doors, and 4 people will lose their jobs. Not only my partner, my boss, who has 2 children and is raising a whole family as a single provider, but my staff and myself, 2 of whom will be forced to move back with their emotionally and queer-phobic, abusive families. Furthermore, this ban has no basis in reason, especially not when alcohol is freely sold and regulated tightly and well. Now we all know the harm that alcohol causes: cirrhosis, heart disease, cancer. Hemp causes none of these health outcomes. And yet, despite the fact that 88,000 people die of alcohol-related illness annually, while there have been 0 deaths from hemp and fewer than 10,000 hospitalizations, Mr. Quinn would rather ban hemp and keep alcohol flowing freely. If you ask me, the hemp market is regulated insufficiently. I agree with that. I want y'all not to ban hemp. I want y'all to regulate it, to tax it. The city has a pension crisis. We need a tax revenue. Please, tax my hemp. Do not ban it. We live in Chicago. We had a prohibition here. We had intemperance movement here. I do not need to remind anyone of the damage caused by the disastrous war on drugs and prohibition-era gangsters on our city. If we ban hemp, you will see a resurgence of that, even as hundreds of people across the city will lose their jobs, and the city will lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in annual tax revenue. Tax revenue which will grow exponentially if the city regulates and taxes hemp. Do not ban this product, regulate it, tax it.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Brandon Ebert.
Hello, my name is Brandon Ebert, and I'm a 24-year-old resident in the 44th Ward. I come here today to urge my alderman, Bennett Lawson, and the rest of the Chicago City Council to fully support the mayor's proposed budget for the 2026 fiscal year. Bennett and 25 other aldermen presented Mayor Johnson with a budget alternative that exacerbates the worst income inequality our city has seen in the last half-century. I was born and raised in a small town in the southwest part of Ohio. For most of my life, I believe Chicago was a fairy tale land, a city where young people could dream of doing and becoming anything they set their mind to. I remember visiting the city with my family, walking by the lake on a picture-perfect summer afternoon, or eating a Vienna beef frank at Wrigley Field. I moved to this city because of its wonderment, its ability to inspire and make opportunities real. Unfortunately, after being here for just a few years and examining the supposed progressive policies enacted, it is clear that many of our city leaders are more interested in saying the right thing instead of actually doing so. An estimated 1 in 4 youth in Chicago live in poverty. 94% of Chicago youth cite mental health as a problem. 1 in 4 youth witness violence on a weekly basis. This year, One Summer Chicago gave 30,000 young people jobs in the healthcare, transportation, and business sectors. The city gave their youth a glimpse of hope. The City Council's alternative budget proposal threatens thousands of these summer jobs while lining the pocketbooks of mega corporations. Nickel and diming everyday individuals is not a sustainable way for funding youth job programs and keeping our city safe. Giving tax breaks to billionaires does nothing to protect the future leaders of our city. The mayor's budget is a small step toward giving the next generation a reason to feel hope, to feel inspired, and to dream. I once again call on Bennett Lawson and the rest of City Council to protect the next generation before it is too late. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker this morning is Julie Dworkin. Our next speaker this morning is Julie Dworkin. Our next speaker is Danielle Carter.
There are lines of Chicagoans right now of people who do not have food, you guys. And if you've never gone hungry, you wouldn't know why I have that urgency. If you've never opened up your refrigerator and there's nothing in it, the poverty sucks. Corporations are making a killing right now, and we have alders that are more interested in defending these big corporations than families like mine who went without food and electricity and could not afford rent and mortgage. Give me something I can work with.
What in the Tyler Perry movie audition is this? Okay. With the fake cries, what is this? See, we know what it's like. We knew what it was like last year when we came down here and we begged these aldermen, this Grace 50 aldermen and you, not to spend our money on illegal aliens, to put it in our communities. We begged you for it. So we know what it was like when we was down here begging you for it last year. We know what it's like when Bionomics was in full effect. We know what it's like right now when my property taxes, right now, bill came out. And we're trying to figure out how we're going to stay in our homes, senior citizens that's on a fixed income, trying to figure out how they're going to pay these high property taxes. Me trying to figure it out. So, oh yeah, we know what it's like. But we know you don't know what it's like. You in your administration that's getting these raises. Let's talk about these raises. Michael J. McMurray, $58,000 raise if this budget passed. Chris Brown, over the public library that I can't even get the footage when I was attacked. But he's getting a $15,000 raise. Nancy Andrick, that's getting a $26,000 raise. Tierra Hughes, that's getting a $22,000 raise. Randy Connor, that's getting a $16,000 raise. Cole Stellert, that's getting a $16,000 raise. Michael Belsky, that's getting a $19,000 raise. Angela Tarver, that's the Department of Environment that you was talking about. Angela Tarver, $30,000 raise. That's where the money going. Let's finish talking. Let me see. Aaron Richardson Lowry, $21,000.
Thank you very much for your comments. Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker this morning is Jimmy Rothschild.
Good morning, City Council. My name is Jimmy Rothschild. I am a resident of the 33rd Ward. I work for the Jewish Council on Urban Affairs, where I support our work on housing and economic justice. In the 33rd Ward, I am a homeowner. Like many of y'all, I got my property tax bill not too long ago, and it went up about 75%. All right? This is true all over the city. It's true in Albany Park, where I live. It's true on the south side. It's true on the west side. Everyone is hurting from this. All right? I'm trying to raise my daughter as the 6th generation to live in this beautiful city. I hadn't planned to talk about this, but just not for nothing. I come from the stock of refugees and immigrants into the city, and it's beautiful the way that so many people in this city have come out to support our immigrant and refugee neighbors in this difficult time. But on the topic of this budget, when I look around and I'm seeing all of our neighbors struggle to stay in their homes, to afford their housing, homeowners and renters alike, because you know property taxes trickle down to renters, right? Right. The last thing we need to do is be burdening homeowners and renters in this city with more taxes and fines and fees. And so it was disappointing to myself and to the members of JCUA to see so many alders sign on to a bill that takes the burden for supporting our neighbors off of the corporations who can afford it. Look at the construction that's just going on across the street at Google. We know that money exists in the city. We should be asking them to pay a little bit more, not the homeowners who are struggling to stay in their homes on the south side, the southwest side, the west side, the northwest side, right? And it's been disappointing also as a parent to see alders willing to take money out of youth programming, right, in order to give that money back to corporations. We need to be funding jobs for young people. We need to keep them safe. I want to raise my daughter in a city where I know that the city is supporting her, is supporting her peers, engaging rather than falling prey to violence. That's the kind of city that we can be. That is why so many people have moved to this city. That's why so many people call this home. We have the opportunity to make this city more beautiful, more safe, make sure all of our neighbors are thriving, but that's going to involve investment in our communities, and that's going to involve asking the wealthiest corporations in this city to pay a little more to make sure our neighbors can thrive. So pass this budget, y'all. Pass the Protecting Chicago budget to make sure that all of our neighbors can thrive.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Alex Goldenberg.
Good morning. My name is Alex Goldenberg. I'm with United Working Families and a resident of the 22nd Ward. To the 26 alders who signed the letter calling for cutting 5,100 youth jobs, stop playing games. Publicly renounce the letter. Take your name off of the letter. If you oppose increasing garbage fees and cutting youth jobs, as several of you have publicly stated on Facebook, then you oppose the alternative budget. You all know that there are not 26 actually supporting that alternative package, so let's stop playing games with the people of the city. This budget comes down to a choice. We're either going to tax rich corporations, tax working families, or make cuts to vital services our communities depend on. To those who oppose borrowing, and you have made that your talking point, no one likes borrowing, but it's time to stop playing games with the people of the city. If you oppose borrowing, what's the alternatives? Is it cuts? Is it taxing working people? There is no alternative. Now, at this moment, when we're under attack by fascists, by the Trump forces who are cutting Medicaid, cutting SNAP, cutting our communities, now is not the time to be cutting services. It's not the time to make working families sacrifice to pay credit card bills. We are being attacked. We have to shore up investments in our people right now, and we have to do everything we can to tax the rich corporations, and if necessary, borrow responsibly, which this budget does. In truth, if you're concerned about a downgrade, all the games that you're playing, signing this letter where you don't actually have the support, is contributing to the perception of tension that the council contributes to a potential downgrade. So stop playing games. And to those who say that the corporate head tax is a marketing thing, that's just not true. This budget fight is raising consciousness among Chicagoans about the limits that the state imposes on exacting progressive revenue and building a movement to fight for it at the state level. We have organized thousands to call your offices, and you all know because some of you have disconnected your voicemails, to meet with you. Thousands have attended rallies and meetings. This is a legitimate progressive movement, and we are inviting all of you to join us. We need to show leadership in taxing rich corporations, move the conversation and policy in that direction, and build on that momentum to win it at the state level. That is how you ultimately address the concerns around borrowing and fully fund our communities. So stop playing games. Support the Protect Chicago budget. Let's stand with the majority of Chicagoans who want to tax the rich corporations. Let's restore their faith in the power of the government to serve their interests over the interests of the rich. And then let's build on it and continue the fight for the resources our communities deserve. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Ishan Daya. Our next speaker is P. Ray Easty.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. I am here to ask you of a favor. I need a favor. I came here to ask you for a West Side favor. We had a flood on the West Side 2 years ago in 2023. FEMA came here, did the needs assessment. We submitted as the city the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Action Plan. In that action plan, we got $426 million. Remember, we were at Austin Town Hall, we held the check, we smiled, that was great. But then when the money fell, we saw that 91% of that money went to infrastructure needs because based on the report and the analysis that the OMB did, the majority of the housing needs were met. However, that was done when it was still warm, before people turned on their furnaces. So now we're going to these meetings and people are very frustrated. They're saying, oh, he got all this money and we don't have any money for us. We have a mold problem right now on the West Side. So it is very possible for us as a city, the OMB, if you tell them to do this, to amend the action plan to put housing supports in there so that we can do mold remediation. We can get these furnaces out of people's homes because the people who have blowing air, a lot of those furnaces have mold in them. And now that mold is going through the houses. This is very simple. It takes nothing from the council. This is just from you. If you tell the OMB to pretty please, tell them we're asking pretty please with mild sauce on top. Please re-amend this grant so that we can get the federal funds to come and get this mold out of our basement. So that's the first favor that we asking. Pretty please, Mr. Mayor, as our neighbor. The second favor that we are asking is for you to push whatever beef you got with the president to the side. He the president. Whether you like him or not, you know we know how to shake a hand and make a friend. We need to get them back on board so that they can send those federal resources back to us and our budget can calm down a little bit. We won't have as many taxes. We won't have as, we know what to do. If Mandami can go talk to him, you can too. You from the West Side, you know how to talk to people. You know how to shake hands. You know how to make a friend. That's how you're sitting there. So please talk to the president. Even if it's just 20 minutes, that's okay. But we got to start getting this relationship back on board because now we need HUD to give us the time, give us the amended plan to get the mold out of our basements. But if he's saying we're not sending Chicago anything, then now we have more of our neighbors with mold in the basement. Now we got those people out south who got the helicopter landed on them. Now they're leaving, but the president might have the money to move because he know what happened there. But if we're not having that conversation, we can't come to those goals. So pretty please, Mr. Mayor, amend that action plan for us to get the mold out the basements and make a friend with the president. Like him or love him, he's going to be our leader. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Our next speaker is Julie DeWorkin. Our next speaker is Ishan Daya. Your Honor, there are no further speakers who have timely signed up for the public comment
period. Very well.
period.
This concludes our public comments period. There are 3 acknowledgments that alders would like to make. The chair recognizes Alderwoman Mitz.
Then I'd like to be recorded as present for the purpose of the
Very
quorum.
well. The chair recognizes Alderman Villegas.
Mr. President, I'd like to also be counted towards quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. If you can add Alderwoman Mitz and Alderman Vegas, the quorum roll call. The chair recognizes Alderman Moore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to be added to the quorum call is here.
Chair recognizes Alderwoman Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to be recorded as present in the roll call. Thank you.
The chair recognizes Alderwoman Clay.
Good morning, Chairman. I would like to be recognized for quorum.
Very well. The chair recognizes Alderwoman Tabares.
I also like to be recognized for the roll call, please.
Very well. The chair recognizes Alderman Bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Also, as quorum.
Very well. All of those members will be added to the quorum roll call. Now, the chair recognizes Alderman Robinson.
Chairman, may I be added to roll call, please? Thank you.
Very well. Please add Alderman Robinson as well to the quorum roll call. Any other alders that wish to be added to the quorum? Very well. Now for our acknowledgments. We do have 3. First, we have Alders Chico, Hall, as well as Dow, because they would like to acknowledge the state champion De La Salle boys soccer team. Thank you. Alder Chico.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today I rise in support of this resolution of my alma mater, the 2025 soccer state champions, De La Salle Meteors. Let's give it up for them one more time. As a graduate of the class of 2001, it is with great pride and honor that I honor all the hard work of these young men. Last year, they lost the game in overtime in the state championship game, and they used that as motivation to get back to the state title game and win. And for that, we are extremely proud of you. Under the leadership of Coach Martinez and Player of the Year, Alex Panduro, the team was led to a 25-3-1 record. They became the first ever state team, to win the state champion in De La Salle history, and the first ever state champion in soccer in the Chicago Catholic League. This team has been nothing short of historic. So as a meteor, I say to the alumni of Mount Carmel, of St. Rita, it's a great day.
Ignatius.
It's a great day to be from De La Salle. We look forward to you coming back next year and doing this all over again. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Alderman Chico. Alderman Hall.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I stand to rise in full support as an alumni right behind Alderman Chico. In 2002, we didn't even have a soccer team as amazing as this team. And so to every player, you're champions not only on the field, but off the field. And so congratulations to amazing coach, amazing athletes. And in particular, I do want to give a shout out to the 6th Ward resident, Kevin Gates, who I already told him that the soccer team got to practice at Thule Park. And so we hope to welcome you all to the 6th Ward so that kids can see what great soccer looks like. Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Alderwoman Dow.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too rise to be associated with this resolution. Every alderman loves to have an institution in their ward that brings pride to the city of Chicago. I want to congratulate the De La Salle Sonics. I want to congratulate Coach Martinez and President Mike Zuniga for their accomplishments and for making the city of Chicago proud. I join in with my colleagues in congratulating you for your achievements. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Alderman O'Shea.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too rise in support of this resolution, and congratulations, Pete. To the young men from De La Salle, an institution that has been educating children on the South Side since 1889. 136 years De La Salle's been doing it. How about a big round of applause for these folks? Guys, your work paid off. But just as important as your work on the soccer field is your work in the classroom. Keep working hard. Sorry you had to come down here and witness some of the theatrics of the city council, but keep working hard, keep standing with each other, and you will be successful in life. To the administration all here, thank you for your hard work. De La Salle will continue to fight for the next 136 years, educating our children, preparing them for the world. God bless you all.
Chair recognizes Alderwoman Nicole Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too rise in support of this resolution. Congratulations, meteors of De La Salle. As the Alderwoman of the 11th Ward, we got a few of our residents at De La Salle. You're right next door in the 3rd Ward. But I assure you, we claim you in the 11th Ward, and we are beaming with pride for your incredible win. I want to thank you for all of your hard work and accomplishments, and echo Alderman O'Shea to the administration, to the parents, to the coaches, to everybody that have supported this team. We're counting on seeing you right back here next year. We're going to do that? Are we going to do it, guys? All right. Hey, I don't think they heard you back home. So congratulations, and really appreciate the work that your parents have done to support you through all this too. I know they're not here with you today, but as a parent of an athlete myself, I know the sacrifices that parents make, especially so that their kids can play these sports, whether that is driving you to practice early in the morning or traveling for games. You guys have worked so hard. Congratulations on your accomplishment. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Alderman Quinn.
Mr. Mayor, De La Salle, congratulations. Great job. Couldn't be prouder of you as a Catholic leaguer myself. Also wanted to recognize my good friend Mike Zunica, who's the president of De La Salle and has spent his life educating Catholic boys throughout the entire city of Chicago. So, Mike, welcome to the City Council chamber. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Alderman Sposato.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too would like to congratulate this amazing team on this amazing accomplishment. It's always great when teams from Chicago are state champs or anything. So I know you've had your challenges throughout the year, and to hear that, whatever, 20 years ago, didn't you have a soccer team, and now you're back-to-back state champions, this year champions, last year in the championship. So just want to say congratulations. Stick with your friends. You guys will always remember this, so congratulations. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Alders Chico, Hall, and Dow. Let's give it up one more time for De La Salle. Congratulations. Next, we have Alder Sigcho Lopez, who would like to commemorate the 119th anniversary of Loco 001 Postal Workers Union. The chair recognizes Alder Sigcho Lopez.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President and members of the City Council. I am honored to be here with the American Postal Workers Union, Chicago Local 001. So I'd like to ask President Keith Richardson and your leadership team if you can stand up to be recognized. Thank you so much. Not only today we remember our own local's 119th anniversary, but we also recognizing 250 years of existence of the Postal Service workers who have been at the forefront of our fight for democracy, better wages, a fight for working conditions, safety in the workplace, and play a pivotal role in this moment to spearhead a fight for dignity and respect for all workers. As a local, we remember their fight against privatization, holding demonstrations outside Sears Roebuck's headquarters in the 1980s. We also remember, and we want to continue to honor that legacy, of workers and enthusiastically leading the Stop Staples demonstrations during the 1915 Biennial Convention, and showing the whole country what Chicagoland is all about. We are a union town, and we are a city that works because of our labor workers. So I'm proud and honored to recognize their struggle for justice and the demonstration of power of workers, not only in Chicago, but across the country. You really lead the way, to show that Chicago is united among working people and that we show the way of a beacon of hope because our workers in Chicago, our people, that's our biggest asset. So thank you, President Richardson and your leadership team. We honor and thankful for every one of our postal service workers, their dedication, their service, and their love for our city of Chicago. Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Thank you. Again, we are appreciative greatly of the leadership of President Richardson, but also the work that our postal workers do. And we know that we are commemorating the 250th year of the Postal Service being in existence. Rain, sleet, snow, or shine, they are there for the people of this country. So thank you again, and we honor you. Thank you, Alder Siccho Lopez, for bringing this acknowledgement. The final acknowledgement we have today is for the Dr. Timuel Black Scholarship and Fellowship Program. Would his family please stand, if they're still here, to be recognized? Thank you. Please remain standing. I do want to just again, as we acknowledge Dr. Timuel Black Jr., and particularly during the week of his life and his birthday, we know that Mrs. Black has been a strong champion for carrying out the legacy of the late, great Dr. Timuel Black. We honor his life as he lived a life of service to young people and fought for equity and justice. Many of you all know that he was a part of the organizing apparatus where thousands of Chicagoans joined the March on Washington with the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He continued that commitment as an advocate and organizer, as an educator. He was a public school teacher, taught at our city colleges as well. He's been a lifelong mentor of so many different people. This scholarship is really a remarkable testament of not just his career and his life commitment to justice, but how his legacy will continue. A renowned keeper of Chicago stories. If you ever had a chance to sit with Dr. Timuel Black and just learn from him and his experience, it's something that will live with you forever. And so we're grateful for the work that is done to ensure that Chicagoans who have contributed to the soul of Chicago, that we permanently etch their memory in stone. So we're deeply honored to have his wife, Mrs. Black, and to the entire team. So God bless you. Long live the legacy of Dr. Timuel Black. Thank you so much, the City Council, for your patience this morning. Thank you to all of the alders who brought those acknowledgments. Next up, communications.
Communications from His Honor the Mayor to the Honorable the City Council of the City of Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of Commissioner of Housing, I transmit here with an ordinance authorizing the issuance of TIF funds for 30 North LaSalle MF Redevelopment, LLC. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance would be appreciated. Very truly yours, Brandon Johnson, Mayor. For the Committee on Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of the Commissioner of Housing, I transmit here with an ordinance authorizing the sale of the transfer of Renaissance St. Luke, a senior living building located at 1501 West Belmont Avenue. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance would be appreciated. Very truly yours, Brandon Johnson, Mayor. For the Committee on Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of Commissioner of Planning and Development, I transmit here with an ordinance authorizing the execution of redevelopment agreement with Sinai Health System, a non-for-profit corporation, to issue TIP funds. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance would be appreciated. Very truly yours, Brandon Johnson, Mayor. For the Committee on Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of Commissioner on Housing, I transmit here with an ordinance authorizing the sale transfer of Wicker Park Renaissance, a single-room occupancy building located at 1527 to 1531 North Wicker Park. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance would be appreciated. Very truly yours, Brandon Johnson, Mayor. For the Committee on Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of Commissioner of Aviation, I transmit here with an ordinance amending the municipal code regarding fines for violations that occur at the airports. Your favorable consideration of this ordinance will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Brandon Johnson, Mayor for the Committee on Aviation. Ladies and gentlemen, at the request of Commissioner of Planning and Development, I transmit herewith ordinances authorizing the sale of city-owned properties. Your favorable consideration of these ordinances will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Brandon Johnson, Mayor for the Committee on Housing and Real Estate. Ladies and gentlemen, I transmit herewith appointments to the Chicago Public Library Board. Your favorable consideration of these appointments will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Brandon Johnson, Mayor, referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Ladies and gentlemen, I transmit herewith appointments to the Community Redevelopment Commission. Your favorable consideration of these appointments will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Brandon Johnson, Mayor, referred to the Committee on Economic Capital and Technology Development. Ladies and gentlemen, I transmit herewith appointments to various special service areas. Your favorable consideration of these appointments will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Brandon Johnson, Mayor for the Committee on Economic Capital and Technology Development. Ladies and gentlemen, I have appointed Fernando Diaz, a member of the Board of Trustees of Communities, College District Number 508, for a term effective immediately and expiring June 30th, 2027, to succeed Elizabeth F. Swanson, whose term has expired. Your favorable consideration of this appointment will be appreciated. Very truly yours, Brandon Johnson, Mayor for the Committee on Education and Child Development. I, City Clerk Anna Valencia, hereby inform the City Council that the following documents were filed in my office relating to the respective subjects designated as follows. Determination Certificate of City of Chicago regarding a revolving line of credit agreement by and between City of Chicago and Wells Fargo Bank, National Association as to financial note on November 25th, 2025. Notification of sale, City of Chicago sales tax securitization bond, Series 2025A, 2025B, and second lien sales tax securitization bonds refunding Series 2025A. Office of Inspector General's Audit of Chicago Department of Public Health, Construction, Demolished Debris, Recycling Enforcement. I, City Clerk Anna Valencia, inform the City Council that all those matters which were referred to considered by the City Council at the regular meeting held on November 14th, 2025, which are required by statute to be published in book or pamphlet form, or in one or more newspapers, or published in pamphlet form on December 10, 2025, by being printed in full text and printed pamphlet copies of the Journal of Proceedings of the City Council of the City of Chicago. I, City Clerk Valencia, inform the City Council that all those matters which were considered by the City Council in the regular meeting held on November 18, 2025, which are required by statute to be published in book or pamphlet form, or in one or more newspapers, or published in pamphlet form on December 10, 2025, by being printed in full text and printed pamphlet copies of the Journal Proceedings of the City Council of the City of Chicago. I, City Clerk Valencia, also inform the City Council that the following ordinances establishing, amending, or authorizing the imposition of tax levies, budgets, and service provider agreements for the special service area, which were passed by City Council on November 14, 2025, which were requested to be published in special pamphlets or published in special pamphlet form on November 26, 2025. Special service area numbers 1 through 2015, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 13, 16, 17, 20, 25, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 27, 28, 2014, 29, 2014, 31, 32-2024, 33, 38, 39, 42, 43, 44, 45, 47, 48, 50, 51, 52-2021, 54, 55, 56-2022, 60, 61-2023, 63, 69, 71, 72, 75, 76-2024, 77, 80, 81, 82. I, City Clerk Valencia, also transmit herewith the following miscellaneous communications reports requiring City Council action. Zoning reclassification of particular areas referred to the Committee on Zoning Landmarks and Building Standards. Claims against the City of Chicago to refer to the Committee on Finance. Recommendation by Commission on Chicago Landmarks for designation of Humboldt and Sacramento extension to the Logan Square Boulevards as Chicago Landmark, which is referred to the Committee on Zoning Landmarks and Building Standards. Your Honor, that concludes the reports and communications of the Mayor and other city officers.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. For committee reports, we'll start with Finance. The Chair recognizes Chairwoman Dow.
Mr. President and members of the City Council, reporting for the City Council's Committee on Finance, which held a committee meeting on December 4th, 2025, the following items received a do-pass recommendation from the committee. Item number 1 is an ordinance authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with the Chicago Park District for the allocation of tax increment financing funds for improvements at Mather Park, located at 5941 North Richmond Street in the 40th Ward, in an amount not to exceed $2.75 million. Mr. President, unless someone wishes to speak on this, I move passage of this item by a roll call vote.
Very well. Seeing no hands, members use your e-vote application to record your vote at this time.
The voting is now open. The voting is now open. Please use your e-device. The voting is now open. Raise your hand if you need support. I will now call on those that have not used their e-device for their voice vote. Alderman Hall. Alderman Hall is a yes. Alderwoman Ramirez.
Yes.
Ramirez is a yes. Alderwoman Coleman.
Yes.
Coleman is a yes. Alderman O'Shea. O'Shea is a yes. Alderperson Fuentes.
Yes.
Fuentes is a yes. Alderman Burnett. Not in chambers. Alderman Vasquez. Vasquez is a yes. Alderman Gardner. Vasquez, oh sorry, Gardner is a yes. Vasquez is a yes. Alderman Knudsen. Knudsen is a yes. Alderman Burnett, last chance. Okay, voting is closed. There are 48.
We have 48 yeas, 0 nays. This motion passes. Alderman Mitchell on the motion to reconsider.
Mr. President, move to reconsider the vote.
All those in favor of the reconsideration of this vote signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. Very well, this motion fails. Chair recognizes Chairwoman Dow.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 2 is an ordinance authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with the Chicago Park District for the allocation of TIF funds for the improvements at Jackie Robinson Park, located at 10540 South Morgan Street in the 21st Ward, in an amount not to exceed $2 million. I move passage of this item by the first most favorable roll call vote on the Committee on Finance report and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
Item number 3 is an ordinance authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with the Chicago Board of Education for the allocation of TIF funds for improvements at Langston Hughes Elementary School located at 240 West 104th Street in the 21st Ward in an amount not to exceed $200,000. I move passage of this item by the same motion.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
Item number 4 is an ordinance authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with the Chicago Board of Education for the allocation of TIF funds for improvements at Marcus Mosiah Garvey Elementary School located at 10309 South Morgan Street in the 21st Ward in an amount not to exceed $200,000. I move passage of this item by the same motion.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
Item number 5 is an ordinance amending Enterprise Zone 2 to reflect the expanded boundaries. I move passage of this item by the same motion.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
Item number 6 is an ordinance authorizing fee waivers for the Chicago Board of Education or its contractors for buildings and facilities used for public or governmental purposes with annual reporting of fee waivers to the Office of Budget and Management. I move passage of this item by the same motion.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
Item number 7A is an order authorizing the Corporation Council to enter into and execute a settlement order in the case of Shanae Flowers James versus City of Chicago in an amount of $1 million. Alderman Spazzato of the 38th Ward recused himself from voting on this matter under Rule 41-14. as he has a 60-year personal relationship with the father of Gino Castiglione. I move passage of this item by the same motion, with the exception of Alderman Ray Lopez, who wishes to be recorded as voting no on this item.
You still wish to be acknowledged? The chair recognizes Alderman Lopez.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, members of the City Council. As I said in committee, and as I've said numerous times on this floor, we continue to see lawyers taking advantage of situations, treating Chicago taxpayers as a never-ending fountain from which they can drink. The situation surrounding this settlement is terrible. But our firefighters, our EMTs, are putting their lives on the line to try to save people in very difficult and unfortunate circumstances. And everything that brought this to a head was unfortunate and difficult. But it was not our fault. And we need to be able to start standing up and saying that. We've had several lawsuit settlements against the fire department. And that is a trend that is going to continue to grow as we continue to see our CPD settlements decline. That cottage industry will evolve. We are setting too many precedents to continue down this path, and I urge my colleagues to stand up and say no. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a motion. The motion, despite the chair recognizes Alderman Napolitano.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please hold me down as a no.
Very well. Despite the divisions, hearing no other objections, so ordered. Chair recognizes Chairwoman Dow.
Item number 7B is an order authorizing the Corporation Council to enter into and execute a settlement order in the case of Robert Smith Jr. versus City of Chicago et al. in the amount of $15,376,742.37. I move passage of this item by the same motion as was applied to item number 2. Alderman Ray Lopez wishes to speak on this matter.
Very well. The chair recognizes Alderman Lopez.
Thank you again, Mr. President. Under Rule 14, out of abundance of caution, I wish to recuse myself because of my relationship with one of the individuals associated with this lawsuit.
Very well. Hearing no other objections, this motion is so ordered.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 8 and 9 consist of orders of authorization for the payment of various small claims against the City of Chicago and the denials of payments of various small claims against the City of Chicago. This was a direct introduction, and if there are no objections, I move that these items be placed in passage in the omnibus.
Hearing none, so ordered.
Item number 10 consists of 2 proposed orders authorizing charitable solicitation on the public way to the American Civil Liberties Union and the Nature Conservancy, both citywide and both from January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026. These will be placed on file with the clerk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Anything else?
No, this concludes my report, Mr.
Thank you,
President.
Madam Chair. For the Committee on Economic Capital Technology Development, Chair recognizes Chair Villegas.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the City Council. Reporting for the Committee on Economic Capital and Technology Development, which met on Tuesday, December 9th. The committee held a meeting to recommend passage of the following items. Items 1 and 2 on the report are substitute ordinance approving the annual budget and scope of services for Special Service Area number 63 to 63rd Street and Special Service Area number 59-2022, 59th Street. I move for passage of these items by the first favorable roll call, the vote of the Committee on Finance, and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Thank you, Mr. President. That concludes my report.
Very well. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our next committee is the Committee on Housing and Real Estate. The Chair recognizes Chair Sigcho Lopez.
Mr. President and members of the City Council, reporting for your Committee on Housing and Real Estate, which held a meeting on December 3rd, 2025. The committee has a series of reports recommending passage of 10 ordinances that include a journal correction, 1 code amendment, 2 lease agreements, and various land sales. Item number 1 is an aldermanic introduction, ordinance 2025-00-19668, amendment of ordinance passed on November 7, 2023 regarding acquisition of property at 11414 South Halsted Street from Albertsons LLC for use by city as migrant shelter in the 21st Ward. I move passage of this item by the first most favorable roll call vote on the Committee on Finance and associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Item number 2 from the Department of Housing is a substitute ordinance 2025-001887, amendment of municipal code sections 2-44-080, 2-44-085, and 2-44-135 to dissolve the Chicago Community Land Trust, aka Chicago Housing Trust, and allow formation of a borough within the Department of Housing, which also passed as substitute, and I move passage of this item by the same motion.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
The next two items from 2FM are grouped together for convenience. Item 3, Ordinance 2025-002499, and Item 4, Ordinance 2025-002522, both for renewed and amend lease agreements in the 36th Ward. I move passage of these two items by the same motion.
Thank you. Hearing no objection, so ordered.
The following items are grouped together for convenience. Items 6 through 8 are market rate sales through the Chai Block Builder, a platform in the 4th and 20th wards. There are Ordinance 2025-002975, Ordinance 2025-002974, and Ordinance 2025-002978. I move passage of these three items by the same motion.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Item number 9 is an ordinance 2025-002976, sale of city-owned property at 6118 and 6122 South Stewart Avenue to Rita Woodward in the 20th Ward. I move passage of this item by the same motion.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Item 10 is the ordinance 2025-002526, sale of city-owned property at 5413 South Calumet Avenue to Lake Park Associates, Inc., under the real estate exchange agreement in the 20th Ward. This land sale will enable the creation of the Chicago Torture Justice Memorial that will include a 22-foot monument and reflective of open space. I would like to recognize Alderwoman Taylor so that she can refer to this item.
Very well. The chair recognizes Alderwoman Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. President. And so, too often we make mistakes in Chicago and we never rectify them. While we have gotten better with our relationships with Chicago Police Department, we cannot look at what happened. We cannot ignore what has happened in the past. And so the folks at the Torture Justice Memorial have done the work to make sure that the city makes sure that the people who are survivors, and they're just more than survivors, because you think about what these people lost. They lost their ability to see their children grow up. They missed out on loved ones dying, losing their mothers and fathers, not getting to have children themselves, some of them, and just coming back home to a world that they don't recognize. Too often we don't say we're sorry. Too often we don't keep the promise of making sure that we right the wrongs in this city. And so today is one of those days that we do the right thing, and it's allowing them to build this memorial that says you are not forgotten. We heard you, we wronged you, and let's make it right. And so I ask that folks vote on this today to support these survivors. They're somewhere in the, oh, they're standing up. And so please let's give these folks a hand. A lot of times we think money is enough to fix what's broken, and it's not, because all the money in the world can't give them back what these folks have lost. And so I ask for your favorable vote today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Alderwoman. The chair recognizes Chairman Sixto Lopez.
Thank you, Mr. President. And with that, I would like to move to pass this item by the same motion.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Finally, item 11, ordinance 2025-002506, transfer of city-owned property at 8385 South Brickhoff Avenue and 8319 South Vincent's Avenue to Chicago Park District in the 21st Ward. I move passage of this item by the same motion.
Hearing none or no objection, so ordered.
Mr. President, this concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. The next committee is Committee on Licensed Consumer Protection. Chair recognizes Chairwoman Silverstein.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm speaking for those of us that sit in the back. Could we ask for some decorum here, because it's really hard to hear what's going
The Sergeant
on?
at Arms knows his responsibility. He will continue to engage as necessary. Thank you. Please proceed, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm reporting for the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. We held a meeting on December 3rd, 2025, and the following items were passed by the committee. O2025-00200303, a one-time exception to Wrigley Field night game ordinance to allow for Chicago Cubs baseball game on July 17, 2026. Mr. President, I move that the City Council concur in the recommendations of the License Committee by the same roll call as item number 1 of the Committee on Finance report and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
O2025-0021-076 is being held in committee. There are 8 ordinances regarding liquor moratoriums in the 2nd, 3rd, 13th, 15th, 30th, 31st, 33rd, and 42nd wards. O2025-00200642 and others. O0020324, 0020507, 0020317, 0020664, 0020502, 0020843, and 0020521. I move passage of these items by the same motion if there is no objection.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
O2025-0021018, an amendment of Municipal Code Section 4-4-331 to prohibit sale of any hemp-derived cannabinoid product on any location required to be licensed under Municipal Code of Chicago, except by cannabis business establishment, and repeal of 4-4-333 in its entirety. Alderman Quinn has requested to speak on this ordinance.
Chair recognizes Alderwoman Rodriguez Sanchez.
Alderman Sicho Lopez, and I move to defer and publish this item.
Alderman who?
Sicho Lopez and me.
Alderman Sigcho Lopez, can you confirm that you are? All right, this item then will be deferred and published. Chair recognizes Chairwoman Silverstein.
Mr. President, this concludes my report.
Very well. Alderman Quinn, did you still wish to speak on that item? Very well. Thank you, Madam Chair. For Committee on Pedestrian and Traffic Safety, Chair recognizes Chair LaSpada.
Thank you, Mr. President. Reporting for your Committee on Pedestrian and Traffic Safety, for which a meeting was held on Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. 3 non-routine items were before the committee. The committee passed O2025-00199980, sponsored by myself, Alderman Mosley, and Alderman Vasquez, amendment of Municipal Code Section 9-64-050 to authorize erection of disabled 1 permit parking signs in certain RS, RT, and RM zoning districts. I believe Alderman Mosley and Alderman Vasquez would like to speak on this item.
Well, I don't see either one of them in chambers.
And then neither of them are present, so
Very
then I
well.
will speak on their behalf.
Okay.
It was a pleasure working with my colleagues on this. It makes reforms and efficiencies on disabled permit parking that will benefit our residents, benefit efficiencies, but also benefit the staff of all 50 offices here. It was a pleasure working with my colleagues on this and with the full committee. And they may show up before I'm done with this report, but I will move on. If there are no objections, I move passage of this item by the first most favorable roll call vote from the Committee on Finance and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider the
Hearing no
vote.
objection. Chair recognizes Alderman Lopez.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the City Council. I do not have an objection. I actually want to applaud my colleagues for trying to address issues with regards to disability permit parking. Too oftentimes in the city of Chicago, we have people who have applied for these permits who have died waiting for these poles to go up. We have departments that don't talk to each other. We have departments that are taking several months, even though the $75 check, which we ask them to provide, has been cashed. Anything that we can do to move the needle on this is something that we all should get behind. And I know our comptroller, Chase, Ray Winkle, as well as Michael Belsky, our current comptroller, have been aware and are working with CDOT, trying to find creative ways to get more of these issues resolved. So I just want to commend everyone for their efforts. Thank you.
Very well. Seeing no other hands, the motion to accept this item is so ordered. Chairman LaSpada.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to SO 2024-001099, Amendment of Municipal Codes, Chapter 9-108 by adding new Section 9-108-025, establishing public enforcement pilot program for residents to submit recorded evidence of covered parking offenses, was held in committee, although we did hold a subject matter hearing on this item. O 2025-0021-016, Amendment of Municipal Code Title 9 by adding new Section 9-68-035 to regulate effective parking in residential areas surrounding Midway International Airport, and by modifying Section 9-92-030 to allow for impounding of vehicles in violation of new section, was also held in committee. There were also 432 routine traffic items before the committee. 6 items are being held in committee, and the other 426 items passed. If there are no objections, I move passage of these 426 routine traffic items by the same motion.
Chair recognizes, do you want to be recognized? The chair recognizes Alder Vasquez.
You good?
Go for it.
My apologies, Mr. President. Thank you so much. I wanted to speak on one of the items that is to be passed with the support of this council related to disabled parking access.
I don't know if that's in order. The item has already been taken up and passed. Is that correct?
I am glad
It's
to...
out of order, sir.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, very well. But your colleague did speak very well on your behalf. And Alderman Lopez applauded you as well. Okay, if that helps. Very
Yeah.
well.
I'll just go on social media. It's okay.
Yep.
If I may, is there any way to grant leave to the alder?
I don't know if it would require leave.
I wish I could say I knew the appropriate motion, but
I don't know if there is one, honestly. So just a second.
well, don't walk
Yeah, the
out
item
yet,
has
sir. We're
already been
trying to work it
disposed-
out.
Alderman LaSpada, Chairman LaSpada, the item has already been disposed of, so
All
there
right.
is no motion that you can make,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
So let's continue to move forward.
Well, then, if there are no objections, I move passage of these 426 routine traffic items by the same motion.
Hearing none, so ordered.
That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the Committee on Transportation and Public Way, the chair recognizes Chairman Mitchell.
Mr. President, members of the City Council, reporting for your Committee on Transportation and Public Way, which held a meeting on December 9th, 2025. The following items passed by the majority of the members present. Page 2 includes items Substitute Ordinance 2025-00199944, an amendment of the Municipal Code, Chapter 10-28. Pages 3 through 6 include 29 ordinances for miscellaneous items introduced by the local aldermen from wards 1, 2, 3, 13, 19, 22, 26, 27, 29, 30, 32, 36, 38, 39, 40, 42, and 45. If there is no objection, I move passage of these items by the first most favorable roll call vote of Committee on Finance and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Finally, zoning. We recognize Vice Chair Lawson.
Mr. President, members of the City Council, I'm presenting a series of reports for the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards, which held a meeting on December 9th, 2025. The following items were passed by a majority of the members present in our group for convenience. Page 1 contains document number O 2025-00205513, An amendment of the Municipal Code, Title 17, by modifying Section 17-7-0574 to expand ADU-allowed RS areas. I move passage of this item by the last most favorable roll call vote of the Finance Committee report and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
On the first one, not the last one. Most favorable roll call.
First, most
Very well,
favorable
I got you. Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Page 1 also contains document number O-2025-0021-040, having under consideration an ordinance introduced by Alderman Wagaspack for the amendment of Municipal Code Section 4-4-331, prohibiting the sale of cannabinoid hemp products in the Mid-North Branch Corridor residential area. I beg leave to recommend that your honorable body re-refer the ordinance, which is transmitted herewith, to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Page 1 also contains the historic landmark designation of the Central YMCA headquarters located in the 34th Ward. I move passage of this item by the first most favorable roll call vote of the Finance Committee and the unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Moving on, pages 1 through 16 contain various map amendments in wards 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 11, 13,
Pardon me, Vice Chair, I just caught this. On the 2 motions ago, you asked for leave, but did not make an official motion for the re-referral.
So I beg leave to re-refer the ordinance O-2025-0021-040
Very well.
to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection
Perfect.
by the same motion.
Yep, that motion has been made and that has been accepted, so ordered.
Great. All right, pages 1 through 16 contain various map amendments in wards 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 21, 22, 27, 28, 30, 31, 32, 35, 36, 43, 45, and 47. I move passage of these items by the same motion if there is no objection. Noted that Alderman Conway would like to speak on document number O-2025-0020-123.
Is that still the case, Alderman Conway?
Pursuant to Rule 14.
Oh, yeah.
Very well, then the chair recognizes Alderman Conway.
Mr. President, I have to recuse myself in this item based on the ordinance that requires one to recuse themselves if they have a financial relationship with the the person seeking the exemption. In this case, it's DePaul University. I teach there. I've derived income from there in the last 12 months, will in the next 12 months. I teach financial management at the MBA level. Please come by if you would like to learn something or tailgate or anything like that.
Very good.
There we go.
That last statement.
That was, and I've already submitted that to the clerk, to Mr. Berlin. Thank you.
We have the recusal based upon Rule 14 and the shameless plug to get more education. Very well.
So I move passage by the same roll
So
call.
ordered.
noting the recusal. Lastly, page 17 contains various large signs over 100 square feet in area, 24 feet above grade in wards 21, 27, 28, 29, 34, 43, and 47. I move passage of these items by the same motion if there is no objection.
Hearing none, so ordered.
Thank you, Mr. President. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. That concludes our committee reports. Agreed upon calendars. On those matters, the chair recognizes Alderwoman Harris.
Mr. President, I received from the clerk, Andrea M. Valencia, a total of 86 items proposed of the agreed calendar, consisting of congratulatory, commemorative, tributary resolutions from Clerk Valencia from the following alderpersons: Alderperson Dow, Alderperson Harris, Alderperson Chico, Alderperson Quinn, Alderperson Coleman, Alderperson Cole, Curtis, Alderperson Tavares, Alderperson Cicho Lopez, Alderperson Cruz, Alderperson Conway, Alderperson Mitz, Alderperson Riley, Alderperson Knudsen, Alderperson Gardner, and Alderperson Silverstein. I move these in the omnibus.
Hearing no objection, so ordered. Thank you. For new business, the clerk will call the wards, beginning with the first.
Zoning amendments which are referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Traffic regulations, traffic control signals, and traffic signs which are referred to the Committee on Pedestrian and Traffic Safety. Exemption from physical barrier requirement for commercial driveway alley access to parking facilities which are referred to the Committee on Transportation and Public Way. Alderperson Laspada has proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code sections 4-5-010 and 4-14-100 regarding shared housing license fees, which is referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Alderpersons Hopkins and Hall have a proposed ordinance for amendment of municipal code, sections 8-16-021 and 8-16-022 regarding curfew for mass gatherings and custody procedures, which is referred to the Committee on Public Safety. Two committees called, the Committee on Public Safety and the Committee on Police and Fire. The matter is referred to the Committee on Committees and Rules. Alderperson Hall has a proposed ordinance for amendment of municipal code, section 4-156-150, 4-156-185, and 4-156-280 regarding amusement devices and sweepstakes machine prohibitions, which is referred to a Committee on Finance with Subcommittee on Revenue. Two committees called, the Committee on Finance, Subcommittee on Revenue and Budget. The matter is referred to the Committee on Committees and Rules. Alderperson Hall and Alderperson Hopkins have a proposed ordinance for amendment of municipal code section 8-4-010 regarding social media cooperation for public safety, which is referred to the Committee on Public Safety. Alderperson Harris has proposed ordinance for amendment of the annual appropriation ordinance to transfer funds within the Committee on Committees and Rules, Personnel Services to Commodities and Materials for the year 2025, which is referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Alderperson Lee has proposed orders for the issuance of permits for signed signboards at 2484 South Archer Avenue, which are referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderperson Gutierrez has proposed ordinance for amendment of the annual appropriation ordinance to transfer funds from the 14th Ward wage allowance account to the automatic expense account for the year 2025, which is referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Alderperson Gutierrez also has proposed ordinance for amendment of the municipal code, section 4-60-023, to allow additional package goods licenses on portions of Kedzie Avenue and 49th Place, which is referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Alderperson O'Shea, Hopkins, Cardona, and Riley have a proposed ordinance for the amendment of municipal code titles 1, 3, 4, 7, 9, 10, 11, 14A, and 14X, or the 2026 Municipal Code Revenue Ordinance, which is referred to the Committee on Finance. Alderperson Mosley has a proposed ordinance for amendment of the annual appropriation ordinance to transfer funds from the 21st Ward automatic expense account to the wage allowance account for the year 2025, which is referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Alderperson Mosley also has a proposed order for the issuance of permits for signed signboards at 8652 South Lafayette Avenue, which is referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderperson Rodriguez has a proposed ordinance for an honorary street designation as Raul Munoz Way, which is referred to the Committee on Transportation and Public Way. Alderperson Rodriguez also has a proposed ordinance for an honorary street designation as Moises Gonzalez Way, which is referred to the Committee on Transportation and Public Way. Alderperson Rodriguez also has a proposed ordinance for amendment of the annual appropriation ordinance to transfer funds from the 22nd Ward wage allowance account to the automatic expense account for the year 2025, which is referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Alderperson Tabares has a proposed order for the issuance of permits for signed signboards at 7000 South Pulaski Road, which is referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderperson Cicho Lopez has a proposed ordinance for amendment of the annual appropriation ordinance to transfer funds within the Committee on Housing and Real Estate, Personnel Services to Commodities for the year 2025, which is referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Alderperson Burnett has proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 4-60-022 to allow additional alcoholic liquor licenses on portion of Morgan Street, which is referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Alderperson Burnett also has proposed orders for the issuance of permits for signed signboards at various locations, which are referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderpersons Burnett and Conway have proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Section 17-3-0308 and 17-4-0301 regarding new construction minimum automotive parking ratios near CTA and Metro rail stations, which is referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderperson Irvin has proposed orders for the issuance of permit for signed signboards at 1114 South Clinton Street, which is referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderperson Wagaspack has proposed orders for the issuance of permits for signed signboards at 2749 North Alston Avenue, which are referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderperson Rodriguez Sanchez has a proposed ordinance for amendment of the annual appropriation ordinance to transfer funds from the 33rd Ward automatic expense account to the Ward allowance account for the year 2025, which is referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Alderperson Conway has a proposed order for a historical landmark fee waiver for the property at 105 West Adams Street and 210 South Clark Street, which is referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderperson Conway also has a proposed order for historical landmark fee waiver for the property at 19 South LaSalle Street, which is referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. And proposed orders for the issuance of permits for signboards at 1011 South Delano Court, which are referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderperson Quezada has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code, Section 4-60-023, to allow additional package goods licenses on portions of North Milwaukee Avenue, which is referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Alderperson Quezada also has a proposed order for the issuance of permits for signboards at 3326 West Belmont Avenue, which is referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderperson Villegas and others have a proposed resolution for submission of a public question by referendum to Chicago voters at the March 17, 2026 primary election on whether Illinois General Assembly should approve joint resolution to authorize amendment of the Illinois Constitution imposing an additional 3% tax on net income over $1 million to fund property tax relief and public education, which is referred to the Committee on Committees and Rules. Alderperson Villegas has a proposed ordinance for amendment of the annual appropriation ordinance to transfer funds from the 36th Ward Aldermanic Expense Account to the Wage Allowance Account for the year 2025, which is referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Alderperson Villegas also has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code, Section 8-4-355, regarding enhanced penalties for offenses committed in student safety zones, parks, or playgrounds, which is referred to the Committee on Public Safety. Alderman Vasquez has a proposed ordinance for amendment of the annual appropriation ordinance to transfer funds from the 40th Ward Aldermanic Expense Account to the Wage Allowance Account for the year 2025, which is referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Alderperson Vasquez also has a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code Chapters 2-4 and 2-32 regarding structure, powers, and functions of various departments and agencies, which is referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Alderperson Napolitano has proposed ordinance for amendment of the annual appropriation ordinance to transfer funds from the 41st Ward Wage Allowance Account to the Aldermanic Expense Account for the year 2025, which is referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Alderperson Riley has a proposed order for the issuance of permits for signboards at 360 North State Street, which is referred to the Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards. Alderperson Clay has a proposed ordinance for amendment of the annual appropriation ordinance to transfer funds from the 46th Ward Wage Allowance Expense Account to the Wage Allowance Account for the year 2025, which is referred to the Committee on the Budget and Government Operations. Alderperson Mosley and others have a proposed ordinance for amendment of Municipal Code, Chapter 4-64, regarding the issuance of retail tobacco licenses, which is referred to the Committee on License and Consumer Protection. Your Honor, that concludes the presentation of aldermanic introductions.
Very well, thank you. For the approval of the adjournal, Chair recognizes Alderman Mitchell.
Mr. President, I am not aware of any corrections to the journals for the November 14th and November 18th meetings and move that they be approved.
Hearing no objection, so ordered. For unfinished business, Alderman Mitchell?
I'm not aware of any unfinished business.
Thank you. And for miscellaneous business, Alderman Mitchell?
With the ordinance setting the date and time of the next meeting, other than that, I'm not aware of any other.
Very well. For the date and time of the next meeting, the Chair recognizes Alderman Beal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I would like to offer up a friendly substitute to the resolution to appoint the following schedule of the next City Council meeting, and it is as follows. It's basically a resolution, well, a substitute to the resolution moving forward, setting the date and time of the next 5 City Council meetings. And if the staff can please pass this out, I would really appreciate it. Sergeant Oz.
Sure. The Chair recognizes Alderman Conway.
Yep, everybody.
I know in the meantime, I think Alderman Riley is looking to get acknowledged and perhaps added the Rule 59 motion. If
I see.
he's
Very well.
online.
Thank you. We'll make sure we do that. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Does everyone have a copy? No. Okay.
I'm sure you do. That ass is already standing up. I,
Yes. So the first order here, because there's likely to be a vote here. The oh, okay, thank you. The first order here, we just want to, because there's likely a vote to take place here, maybe perhaps two. We want to see if Alderman Riley is verified online and wishing to finish the meeting out remotely per Rule 59.
Alderman Riley, are you there?
Here.
Very well. Is there a motion to accept? Very well. So the motion to participate remotely for Alderman Riley. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed say no. All right, the ayes have it. The chair recognizes
Mr. President, I thought I still had
Alderman Burnett.
okay,
You got
I'm sorry, go ahead.
For roll call, or the first most favorable roll call vote in the Finance Committee and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider?
And quorum.
That one? Yes.
And quorum.
Madam Clerk, please.
And quorum, Mr. President.
Require or add Alderman Burnett to the most favorable roll call.
He's added.
Thank you very much. Alderman Irvin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, I don't know where we are technically if the alderman from the 9th Ward has put a motion on the floor or not. I know there was a...
So technically he has not. So,
he has not.
Yeah.
Well, technically I still had the floor.
Well, and technically I get to acknowledge people who are on the floor.
All right.
All right. Anything else?
No, I will.
So you'll wait for that process.
I'll
Okay.
wait for the gentleman.
Very well. So now that we have all the technicalities under order, the chair recognizes Alderman Bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, again, this is a substitute resolution to the ordinance that was passed, that was submitted, basically changing the calendar for the next 5 city council meetings in order to get a budget passed and have my colleagues be able to be home for Christmas and New Year's, and I think this accelerated calendar will be beneficial to everyone in this council. So therefore, I make a motion that we do pass on this resolution.
All right, so there's a motion, substitute ordinance or resolution for the next 5 city council meetings. That's the motion that's on the floor. Chair recognizes Alderman Irvin.
Thank you, Mr. President. The date and time for the next meeting had been set for next Wednesday, December the 17th. I would agree with the Alderman's motion after the 17th. If the gentleman wishes to set times after the 17th, I would be in favor of doing that. I think there's been some ordinances submitted to start a different conversation, which need to make its way through the committee process. With that being stated, I'll move that we table the substitute ordinance that the gentleman has presented and go back to the original ordinance, which was set the date and time for our next meeting of next Wednesday, the 17th.
Very well. There's a motion on the floor to table the substitute ordinance, and there's a request for a roll call vote. Thank you. So your e-vote applications will be made available at this time. If you wish to table this item, it would then essentially remove the substitute motion and then return back to the initial regular motion for the next date and time of City Council. If you vote no to table it, it means you wish to proceed with Alderman Bill's substitute ordinance proposal, setting 5 dates for the next City Council meetings.
The voting is now open. The voting is now open. Please use your e-device. The voting is now open. Please raise your hand if you need support. Michelle? Roberto? Aaron? No Hall. You're good? It's not up still. Hall. Aaron? Hall. I will now take a voice vote for those who have not voted. Alderwoman Harris. Alderwoman Harris is a no. Alderwoman Ramirez.
Yes.
Ramirez is a yes. Alderwoman Coleman.
No.
Coleman is a no. Alderman Mosley. Not present in chambers. Alderperson Fuentes.
Yes.
Fuentes is a yes. Alderman Vasquez. Vasquez is a no. Alderman Riley.
No.
Riley is a no. Have all voted who wished. Alderman Mosley. Okay, the voting is now closed.
There are 18 yeas, 30 nays. The motion to table the substitute motion has failed. The chair recognizes Alderman Bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I'll renew my motion for the adoption of the substitute.
There's a motion on the floor for the adoption of the substitute ordinance establishing the next 5 city council meetings as stated on this document, the 15th, the 16th, the 17th, the 18th, and the 23rd. Very well. All those in favor of the acceptance of this substitute ordinance, declaring the next 5 dates of the next city council meeting, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. On the motion to reconsider.
Motion to reconsider the vote.
All those in favor of the reconsideration of this vote signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say nay. This motion fails. Very well. So now that the date and times of the next meeting have been established, let's see what we can consider.
I have to read it.
Very well, and so now that the substitute has been accepted, now for the date and times of the next meeting, per the substitute, we need to vote now to accept the next dates and times of the meeting. So the substitute has been granted, and so this has been handed up, this ordinance to the clerk, setting the next 5 dates and times of the meeting. Madam Clerk, can you please read that ordinance?
Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Chicago, Section 1, the City Council of the City of Chicago shall hold regular meetings at date and times listed below in the council chamber on the 2nd floor in City Hall, 121 North LaSalle Street, Chicago, Illinois. Monday, December 15th, 2025, beginning at 10 a.m. Tuesday, December 16th, beginning at 10 a.m. Wednesday, December 17th, beginning at 10 a.m. Thursday, December 18th, beginning at 10 a.m. Tuesday, December 23rd, beginning at 10 a.m. This ordinance shall take effect immediately upon passage.
On the motion, Alderman Mitchell.
Passes in the omnibus.
Hearing no objection, so ordered. For the motion to adjourn. I'm sorry, for the omnibus, roll call. Apologies.
I move that matters in the omnibus be passed by the first most favorable roll call vote by the Committee on Finance and the associated unsuccessful motion to reconsider.
Hearing no objection, so ordered. On the motion to adjourn.
There being no further business before the body, I move that we adjourn.
Just a second. I'm sorry. The chair recognizes Alderman Sposato.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to temporarily suspend the rules for a point of privilege. It's my dear colleague's birthday today, Felix Cardona, and yesterday was Alderman Talaferro. So I just want to wish them both a happy birthday.
Very well.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Very well. Alderman Mitchell on the motion to adjourn.
There being no further business before the body, I move that we adjourn.
Hearing no objection, so ordered. The meeting is adjourned.